Hey everybody, welcome back to the Small Engine Doctor. Today I'm going to be showing you how to replace the pull cord on your lawnmower. The lawnmower I'll be repairing today is a lawnmower like this with a 3.5 horsepower Briggs Stratton motor. These 3.5 horsepower classic engines are found on a lot of lawnmowers. To start this job, you want to remove this bolt here, this bolt over here, and the third bolt right over here. And to do this, you're going to need a ratchet with a 3/8 socket. Now once the 3 bolts are off, just simply remove the cover. Now this recoil, the rope was broken, so all I have to do is to pull the rope out of the eyelet over here. But if the rope wasn't broken and still attached to the recoil, what you would want to do is loosen this nut here and slide the rope right through the crack. So here's what it's going to look like inside the recoil assembly right here. What you need to remove next is the small bolt over here. You can use a flat screwdriver or a 5/16 socket. Once it's loosened off, the cap's going to come off like that. Now you want to turn this whole thing clockwise just to unhook the spring. This way you can pull out the whole assembly with the spring still attached in there. If you pull too prematurely and the spring is not unhooked from the hook over here, what's going to happen is it's going to uncoil itself. So this way here you've saved yourself the aggravation of having to re-roll it back on. And you can take the 2 paws out here so you don't lose them when you're working on the recoil. So as you can see here, the rope sheared right near the end of it. So I'm just going to grab it with needle nose pliers and pull it right out like that. Now grab the handle. You're going to see a knot inside with the rope. Reach in with needle nose pliers and pull it out. Now I'm going to pull the rope right out so I can measure the new one. I've measured my old rope with the new one, and I'm using approximately 7 feet of number 4.5 starter rope. Now it's really important that you use the same size of rope, because if you use a rope that's too big, what may happen is when you release the rope after starting it, it may not recoil in all the way inside the recoil assembly. What I usually do when I install new rope is I heat up the end of it like this, and then just roll it like that. Watch your fingers, it could be hot. What this will do is prevent the rope from fraying further. Now at some recoils that you work on, there's usually a small hole here the size of the rope so that you can insert the rope in when you rewind the spring. I don't see a hole on this one, so I'm going to show you how to make one. Just grab a propane torch, and now I'm going to heat up an object that is about the size of the rope. In this case I'm using an old screwdriver. Now I'm going to melt a hole on one side of the spool, the side with these parts facing you, and I'm just going to melt it down about the size of the rope. So all you want is a hole like that. And you'll see when we install the rope back in as to why this little hole here is going to come in so handy. Now you can shave off the burrs. There it is, nice and smooth. Next you want to insert the rope, and the hole's right here. It makes it a lot easier to insert the rope when you've melted the end like this and rolled it a bit. Now what you want to do is make a knot at the end of the rope. Make sure it's nice and tight. Once you're done with the knot, just pull on the rope like that. This will make sure that the knot's not going to come undone on you. Now that you've got the knot secured there, roll your rope on there counterclockwise, about 3-4 turns. And now line up the rope inside the hole that you just made previously. The next thing we want to do is line up the spring here, or the hook on the spring, to the other hook or lip here on the recoil assembly. Now grab the spool, hold the rope, line up the spring to the hook inside here. And move the spool like that. When you turn it counterclockwise and it comes back, that means it's hooked on properly in there. Now you can put a bit of oil or lithium grease here for lubrication. Now you'd want to put the paws back on. Just clip them in like that. And now reinstall the cap in this position. And you want it to be loose like that. Now this is where the little hole we made comes in handy, because now I can tighten up the spring without the rope hitting the sides here. So you'll need to grab the rope and turn about 4 turns counterclockwise. You're going to feel the spring tightening up. Now hold the spool to make sure it does not unwind itself. Now turn the rope exactly to the exit hole of the rope over here. So I'm just going to go a little bit past like that. Now I'm going to grab the end of the rope and insert it into the hole. It's going to come out the other side here. Pull on the rope. Now you can let go with your thumb there and just keep holding on to the rope. At this point now grab the handle, run the rope through it. If the rope won't come out, just push it with a small screwdriver to one side and grab the rope, and you're going to need to make a good knot at this end as well on the rope. Sometimes I'll even put the rope in a vise like that and pull on it to make sure that the knot is really secured. And now just bring the rope right back in there. It's going to lock in there, and you can push the knot further into the center if you want to. So now grab the recoil, make sure that the rope goes back in easily when you pull it. Actually on the lawnmower it's always a bit out like that, so it's not going to be a true accurate reading when it's out. But if you're not happy with the tightness of the spring, just go back in and repeat the process by putting the rope in the small hole and turning counterclockwise. Now to really try it out, I'm going to install it back on the lawnmower. Now insert the recoil over the whole engine like that. And remember that this part here always goes toward the end of the engine where the spark plug is. And there's going to be a bolt to install over here. Make sure the holes are aligned. And the last two bolts will go on each side here. Now you'll need to make sure that this eyelet is loose so we can insert the rope between it and the handlebar. So now hold the brake down, grab the handle. Now insert the rope right through and tighten up the nut on the eyelet. And the socket size, by the way, for here is 7/16. Now I'm going to try it out. Hopefully it's going to work good. That's working real good, and the rope has enough spring to bring it back nice and tight like that. And just a reminder, to get the rope that tight, I rewound the spring 4 times. So thanks again for watching. As you can see, it's not a job that's too hard to do. Just keep trying, take your time, and I'm sure you'll be able to do it. So if you want to save yourself a lot of money, make sure to subscribe. I'm always putting up new videos, so come back. We'll see you next time.